morning. How my beautiful queens and handsome kings is doing this morning? How you all doing? Welcome to another video. This just be like a simple chit chat or girl talk, whatever how you want to call it. I don't know what I'm gonna title the video. It probably be like a little girl chat, but I'm just gonna be speaking up on like random topics or random things from what I have, seen either in my life as a 40-year-old woman trying to figure this thing out, or just just life. I'm just saying like that. But one thing I do want to acknowledge is that when you're a good hard-working person, I'm gonna just say this, I don't know who need to hear this, and this was kind of yesterday when I was getting ready yesterday morning for work, and all I could hear was, stop being so hard on yourself. There's one thing, I don't know if God was just revealing this to me, because I know lately I have, even with myself, I have been very hard on myself. And I sometimes, I feel like I'm not the only one in this, and I know some of you all might can relate to this, but I feel like we need to stop and pause for a second and give ourselves grace. Meaning that when you're doing the best you can and you constantly trying and you pushing through despite of what you might be going through, even when it's times where you might not want to get up out of bed and get the job done, or even do some house chores and cleaning, but you still pushing yourself to get out that bed to go to work, even though the job might be toxic as I don't know what. You got to deal with rude people, you got to deal with messy co-workers, but you still push through to go to work. I say you continue to be the great person that you are. Don't let the noise or the people around you stop you from being the great person you are, and stop being so hard on yourself. I don't know who need to hear this, but God see you trying. He knows your needs. He knows what you want. Sometimes, we could be in this season. I feel like an isolation. I feel like I went through this 2 years ago, where I was so lost, I didn't know what to do, and I thank God for even just giving me a voice to just start sharing and documenting my life on this platform, because in 2022, and it was so much going on in my personal life, and I didn't really at that time really open up too much about it on YouTube. I shared a little stuff, but like personal issues that I was going through, I didn't really vlog it. But I'm just here to say, we have to learn to give ourselves grace and stop being so hard on ourselves, because we can only do so much. Like, we're doing the best we can. We can't change people. We can't change, One quote was stood out to me, and I'll never forget. One of my former co-workers that used to work with me, I'll never forget, I used to work at the front desk at a hotel. It's like these last few years, I just been stuck in the hospitality industry. That's why I'm telling y'all, kind of, pretty soon I'm ready to leave it, and in God's time and God's willing. But I know He got me in this season right now, because He know that I know that I gotta do what I have to do to take care of myself and my child. But working in the hospitality industry, you all hear me talk about this a lot. It has changed. It's not for the weak. You're going to meet people all over the world. You're going to meet good people, bad people, people that just, people going to be people. But one quote that stood out to me was one of my co-workers told me, because I was at that, I think the day, I don't know what happened this particular day, but it was a really rough week for me, because, we used to get, like I say, this hotel is much smaller than the hotels that I'm currently working at now. So they used to always get more business, because they provide free breakfast. They had a pool, and they also, they was in an area where, they had beautiful view, like beautiful room. I mean, you can get a beautiful view of the river from, certain rooms there. And so it was, it was something sad to me, and he was telling me, he was trying to cheer my day up, because he know that, and even working in the front desk is very challenging as a guest service agent, because the front desk is the front of the house in the hotel. You the person that they expect to be on your P's and Q's, provide great information. Like, you really have to basically be happy just sitting there all the time, even when you don't want to. That's why I say I give myself grace, because I smile a lot, and I might can be carrying so much in within. But you'll never know, because I try to want to keep a positive mindset on, whatever I might be, dealing with, because I know troubles don't last. But one thing is, my favorite quotes is, God grant me the serenity to hold on. Is it God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I might be citing it wrong, but when I say that serenity prayer have stuck with me all these years, my auntie brought it up to me, and the guy that used to work me at the front desk, because he used to always tell me, one thing I noticed about you from the length of time I've been working with you, you can't save the world. And I find myself sometimes getting so caught up in wanting to be great and trying to make sure I'm pleasing everybody, when people can, not saying this for everybody, but people can care less about your feelings, even with work. Like, this been a very challenging, this probably be one of my most challenging, busiest weeks that I have ever experienced, just working alone by myself. Because like I told you all, y'all probably hear me talk about this a lot in, in my videos, but, working now, it don't feel the same. Like, it feels off. Like, sometimes I be trying to figure out, like, what's my purpose to continue to keep putting all this hard work into working for somebody when they still don't see my value, or they still gonna just throw me little chump change or throw me nickels, while yet still they still becoming rich. But I had to look at it also in a different how I'm trying to say. I also have to look at it in a different point of view, where I have to say to myself, hey, since the system want to use me, I'm gonna use the system too. So I'm going to try to get what I can up at the deal. That's how I feel like, up at the deal. So since I'm working hard for help this person to see that they, what they trying to do, I'm going to be watching and taking notes on how I can learn how to use these techniques, and maybe to maybe build my own self business up or whatever. Like, I watches everything. Like, my vision is 2020. I watches everything. So I'm going to continue to watch and learn, do what I have to do, but not take disrespect. That's another thing I'm seeing now on, just working in general. You have a lot of people can be so toxic. Sometimes when I leave the house, I have to pray. I feel like it's so much evil around, in these jobs. It's the energy. I'm not psychic, but I can sense things when something is not right, with people. And sometimes people can rub off, and most people think it's funny when you say this, but I feel like sometimes energy you attract is like a magnet. Like, if you ever notice a magnet, when you put it on the TV, not TV, a magnet, and you put it on the refrigerator, it automatically stick to it just like that. Sometimes you can be around people who can have the worst energy, bad, and they would rub their energy off on you. And I was just watching a young man speak on this video yesterday night when I came in after I, showered and got, comfortable, got in my PJs, is that you really have to be careful, because some people not happy with themselves, and misery do love company. So if a person see that you always happy, they don't like that. And it's not that you're trying to outshine somebody, but when a person constantly see that you always, good morning, how you doing, ma'am, sir, or you constantly carrying a smile, even though you going through your own storm, you just not showing it. Some people don't like that. Like, for instance, there's a young lady that worked with me. She's not in my particular department. I used to speak to this young lady all the time. I say, good morning, how you doing? And I would say it loud enough, and I know she hear it. The lady would not speak at all. So I said, you know what, Kanisha, I'm not going to make no doggone somebody speak to me. I'm not going to make nobody speak to me. She saw me. I saw her yesterday. And I was going upstairs to put my food out on my buffet. She just looking mean as ever. I said, I don't know, maybe she can be going through something personal. But one thing about me, when it come down to work, I'm not finna pick with nobody on no job, because I don't know what people's intentions are, especially the times we living in. You really have to be careful. So I learned that, like most people say, well, I keep speaking. No, I'm not gonna keep speaking to nobody. If I say how you doing one time and you don't say nothing, you ain't gotta worry about me speaking to you. Simple as that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know, like I say, God is still working on me, but he also wants you to have discernment too, and he wants you to know the difference. Like you say, wisdom and knowledge. I'm not gonna make nobody speak to me. I'm not. Because I don't do nothing to anybody. The way how you all see me come on camera, this how I am in real life. Like, I don't fake in front. I don't do that. Like, what you see with me is what you get. I'm just, they're just me. But sometimes people don't want to see you happy, because they can be going through something in their personal life, and they'll take that energy off on you. Like, another thing, I'm finna get deep into this. That's why I say this is just gonna be like a random chit chat video. With life in my 40s. I might tell you that life in my 40s chat, what I'm, seeing. But I experienced another paranormal experience at the creepy building. I have told you all I have worked in this building plenty of times. I work for the hotels, there's 3 hotels together. They all affiliated under one another. They're franchise. But sometimes the hotel that I work at is basically considered like the main location for the other 2. So if the other 2 want a host event, like a banquet event at their facility, or I'm responsible most likely, because I'm the only one who seems to want to do the banquets, which is crazy. I'm the one who have to cater to the other 2 hotels, with the events they book. And it's just really sad, because they know they need help. They get all these functions. That's why when I say I'm so burnt out, like literally I was supposed to work this morning, but I told my coworker, I had work yesterday night, when I told y'all see that video before you see this. But I told my supervisor, I said, Mrs. So-and-so, you got three restaurant servers scheduled to work in the morning, me and 2 other people. Is there a way where I could just take off for today? Because I low-key needed the rest. I needed the rest. I slept in a little later than normal, but I wasn't feeling too well this morning, but I'm still up, because I just can't sit in bed all day. But he said, that's fine. I said, because I ain't gonna make it. He said, me and you both, because he know it's been a busy, chaotic week for both of us. Like, they don't have enough staff to book all these events, and then they expect for you to show up, even though I do smile and keep it moving. But it's only so much I can do. That's why I just mentioned to you all, you got to give yourself grace. I say, for the amount of work that I put into this company, these companies I'm working for, or company, I got to give myself grace. Because if I don't give myself grace and pat my own self on the shoulder, who else will? They not going to care. They're not going to care about your well-being. Because if something happened to you, they're going to replace you in a second. One thing about me, like, I'm going to use the job for the provide, but I'm not going to get so invested and caught up into that I need, that the job that's going to be my life, And the reason why I say that, because I noticed with both companies I work for, the 2 hotels, these people that I'm working around, they are like it's nothing else outside of work. Like, they just married to the job. I'm going to say it like that. Like, they feel like there is no other way out. Like they don't think big. And one thing I tell you all, if you have dreams and goals, please do not let nobody know what you want to do out of life. Whatever it is, if you want to be a photographer or a supermodel, YouTuber, whatever it is, teacher, whatever goal, please don't tell nobody, because not everybody gonna be happy. I was bringing up something one day at work, and I was just listening to the young lady talking that said, because I was telling her, I said, I love watching YouTube, but don't nobody know I got the channel. One thing about me, I'm not broadcasting nothing to nobody, because it's none of their business. If they see me on YouTube, oh well. But they don't, nobody that work with me know I got a channel. And so I say, I be so caught up. I love watching me some YouTube videos. That's all I must do, because that's my entertainment. I hardly watch the, regular TV. I just strictly watch YouTube. And she made a statement that said, I could never do that. I don't see how people do YouTube, and you know, I couldn't just base money. So you know, just talking crazy. Like I couldn't do that. They can't file taxes. Like working for somebody else is going to make your life better. So that's why I say you have to be careful who you talk to about your goals. But like I just said to you all, I was telling her I watch YouTube videos. I didn't say that I'm a YouTuber. Like I said, that ain't none of their business. What I do outside of work is my business. And you know, sometimes I feel like people should keep it limited to what. But like I said, I was just telling her I enjoy watching YouTubers, and that's how I learned how to do my makeup and stuff. But she was like, I don't see how. So that's why I'm saying that kind of energy, you'll never prosper thinking like that. You know, it just said we've been taught to be stuck in a life that we should just be dependent on other people. Study wanted to grow and accomplish our own dreams. Like I feel like we live in a society where if you want to do bigger things, it's something wrong. Like if you want to escape the 9 to 5 or do something different, it's something wrong. Because we've been taught that all we should do is be worried about just working hard on a job when God have so much better in store. And we see how these jobs and these companies will do us. Look at me. I had a meeting last month back here. That's what made me have to go back to this second job that I told y'all I used to work for these people before. I've been told y'all that in the previous videos. So they've been trying to get me to come back to work for them because they short staffed too. That's why I said just a mess. With they've been short staffed for quite some time. But to me, they got more help than my first job. Like at least when I'm doing bank was over there, I got help. I don't have to take trash out, wash dishes, reset up, do all this stuff by myself. There's more hands. That's how it should be with the first one. But the first one, they expect for you to do, you be 4 people doing, one person doing 4-man job, But I'm just jumping out subject. I can't even get out what I want to say. But to show you, I talked to my general manager in my first job. I talked to him. I told him, I said, I appreciate the things you have done. I appreciate the opportunity. My supervisor was sitting right there. I'll never forget. And he said, I said, well, I'm trying to manage the best way I can, but is there a way I can get a raise? Because it's just not enough for me to pay all my bills. You think the man said, well, I'll give you a raise and you're a good worker? No. He said, well, we can't afford to give you a raise at the current time because business is slow. Okay, how business is slow if y'all still getting all these functions? That's why I say people need to really be woke. Like I'm so thankful God gave me the gift of discernment, because I'm seeing things that I'm seeing things now as adult than I have seen in my past. And that's showing me that these people do not care about you. I don't care how hard you go in for people and work hard or whatever you're doing, you putting your all into making sure your team is good. They don't care. They will throw you under the bus. And that's what happened to me. So that let me know right there that I just can't depend on people to help rescue me. Like, I'm not looking for nobody to save me. I'm going to save myself regardless, But I'm also seeing why people say you can't look for somebody to save you. I come across videos like that. You have to save yourself, because these people don't care. Ain't nobody going to make you happy but you. Like I say, people, they going to be people. They going to make sure their bills get taken care of, their kids, their families eat. You, on the other hand, you have to figure this thing out called life, which I feel like you never got instructions on. It's like I feel like they just threw you. I feel like a lot of it came from school, because they taught us that if you go, you get your education, get your diploma, get a degree, that you'll succeed in life. If you work hard, you'll succeed. But nowadays, working hard don't always mean that working hard for somebody else, I'm gonna say it like that. Working for other people don't always mean that you'll see the success that you want to see. It don't always mean that. You have to really be with a company. But nowadays, like I say, I have seen it with people just even sharing their stories online, how they've been working for companies for 20 and 30 years and they let them go. So I'm learning to find success within myself. Like I say, I'm a continue to keep working my jobs, but I know it's not meant for me to stay in now one of them. I'm just be honest, because I feel like you shouldn't have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to become successful, when we wasn't never taught this in school. Like school I feel like school kind of gave us the bare minimum, you know. They didn't really teach us what to prepare for, you know, and it's really sad. Because, you know, a lot of us millenniums, I'm considered a millennium. I was born in 85. Millennials and Gen Zs, we really seeing what's going on. Like, it's really hurting us, you know. We wasn't prepared for this. You know, really none of us. But us 80s and 90s and early 2000 on babies, we wasn't prepared for this. Nobody taught us that life would be lifing like this, you know. All they just taught us was to do things in a righteous way. But sometimes being right, I'm seeing that it don't always mean that you're going to get to where you're going. But not saying do stuff wrong. You know, you never do nothing wrong. You continue to, like I say, you continue to follow on the right path, because God sees and He looks high and He look down and He know what you're going through. But I will always say to continue to keep pressing on despite of what you might be going through. Because sometimes what you might be going through can help you become a testimony. I'm going to say it like that. I feel like we all going to have a testimony. We all have a story to tell. You know, but not everybody might not have that confidence to open up and share their story with the world, you know. But you just never know. Like I say, you just never know. But you just have to still be obedient and trust the journey that He's taking you on. But I know I'm jumping out subject. But anyway, I know I was saying before I got deep into this, because I did say I wanted to bring that up to you all about me asking about a raise. I said I was going to say that, so I'm glad I shared that now in this particular video. But I experienced a paranormal experience. I was sitting in the area where you all see me sometimes working at in the creepy building. I was wiping some plates off. You won't see me looking funny in that video, but as I'm wiping plates off, I was in the kitchen by myself. From the corner of my eyes, I seen look like a person, a full-figure person, look like that, like if they was looking for somebody. But I looked around like, did I just seen something or seen somebody peeping here and looked at me? But then I had 5 minutes later, I got up. I had to have the courage to get up, and I looked around the corner. I didn't see nothing. But I knew I saw somebody did like this, like how you peeping in the door to see if you see somebody. You know, I saw somebody do that. I know I'm not crazy. I said, I don't know what is it with the ghost of that building. From what I'm hearing, it's a lot of history. There was hell there in that building, but if you look at it, you could tell something happened. Like something really happened. I was told that building, before the hotel bought the building and converted it into like business rooms, it used to be a place where they held the slaves here in Memphis, held them captive, and before they auctioned them off. It's just a sad story because I get teary-eyed hearing about it. But I feel like the spirits there find some type of connection to me. And I might need to even ask a pastor when I go to church. You know, I haven't been to church in person in a while. I might need to either speak up on this, even in Bible study when I attend Faith Chat with Rihanna Janice. I might speak up on this and see what that means, because this is the 3rd time that it happened to me since I've been working in that building. The 3rd time, and usually I wear a chain with a cross, but I broke it. It's like I'm not afraid. Somewhat, I ain't gonna say I let fear stop me, because I'm still working over there for them when they have events. But it's really creepy at nighttime working over there in the building. Like, it's really creepy at night. But it gotta be something for the spirits to attach itself to me. I mean, they're not attached to me. For them to constantly keep showing themselves to me. I think I'm the only one they constantly showing themselves to. I don't know if it's they find that I'm a caring-hearted person, and they see something in me that I don't see in myself. But it's some spirits there. It's some spirits there. Then when I talk about it to my supervisor, they don't believe me. They don't believe me. But it's something there. It's something there. It's something there. But it's just sad what the people went through back in those days, and the suffering that some of them don't know that they deceased, and they just kind of hanging around. You know, it's really sad. I feel like they really need to bless their building, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. You know, these people try to hide, throw everything on the roof like ain't not happening, but they ain't going to do it, you know. But I'm going to have to start praying when I go inside that building, pray in the building, and maybe, you know, give them peace. But it just it's starting to creep me out sometimes, because I'm like, I don't want ghosts to be, you know, attaching themselves to me, you know. But I literally saw somebody did like that, like they looking for somebody, you know. But I know it couldn't been the people, because at the time I had an event going on, but I had closed that door, so it couldn't been one of them. Because if you gonna hear a human walk, they gonna make some noise on the wood. That's why I say it was something paranormal, because, you know, paranormal, they not gonna, you know, by their ghost, they not gonna walk hard like if a human got heels on. But I knew what I saw, you know. But yeah, but we just have to, like I said, we just have to continue to give ourselves grace, continue to keep trusting God, believe in ourselves, even when we don't, you know, even when other people that's around us doubt us. That can include people that's close to us. You know, sometimes people that be close to you, they might not always believe in you, you know, believing in your dreams. But like I was just telling y'all early on, don't tell everybody everything about, especially when you got big dreams. You can't let everybody know everything, because not everybody gonna be happy for you. But yeah, you all, I'm gonna just probably end this off. I just wanted, like I said, this just be like a little random chat life update, just random chat video. I pray that, you know, you might get something out this video, a message, and hopefully that you all continue to keep pressing on. Don't let what's happening to you all stop you from being great. Know what you're capable of doing. Know your limits. Don't let people tell you what you're not capable of, because people, like I say, misery loves company. You continue to be the best version of yourself, and know that God will make a way. I continue to, you know, I believe in you all. I pray that everything grows great for you all, and you know, in life. I you know, many blessings over your life for you. And just continue to trust God, because He will make a way. You know, for somebody who been through a lot in her life, I can really say that He will come through when you least expect it. But don't give up. Just keep trying and keep going. Until the next time, I'll be talking to you out in the next video. I love you all, and you all stay blessed. And yeah, I just continue to just continue to believe in yourself. Until the next time, you all have a great one. Bye-bye.